Yeah, hi everyone. Today I'm sad, and I'm sad because I look around the world, UK, America, Australia, wherever it may be, and all I'm seeing is divide, division, hatred, and that makes me sad because I know deep down this isn't the true essence of humanity as a species. The true essence of humanity as a species is one that realizes that we're all in this together, and that really we're all actually one human family. But we have allowed ourselves to become so divided by the people that are the real problem in this world: the bankers, the shadow governments, the monarchies, the weapons manufacturers, all these string pullers at the top, using their mainstream media, the news channels, the newspapers, to continuously push out this division on who we should hate next. Muslims, black people, poor people, immigrants, gay people, men now. When's it going to end? When are we going to stop when are we going to stop and realise and look at the bigger picture and realise that we're all being played here? Because as long as we remain divided, those in control will constantly thrive. Because whilst there's chaos between us and we're looking over there, they'll continually run over there away with the swag bag. And I do not tolerate any kind of child abuse wherever it is. It's disgusting. These people need to be hung, right? I'm not excusing anyone, but there are child abusers in Christianity, Catholicism. Look at the church. There's paedophiles in schools, in every sector of society. You've only got to watch those paedophile hunting videos that are online. They are everywhere. They are not just in the Muslim community. I'm not saying there aren't any in the Muslim community. And you're talking of paedophile rings. Well, let me tell you, some of the biggest paedophile rings going are in the higher echelons of society, in Hollywood, and they are getting you to look the other way, because if you're blaming the Muslims, you're not looking at them. And again, I'm not saying there's not child abuse going on within Islam either, but I'm just saying you need to wake up and have a more balanced view of what is going on around you, because they want all this division. They've allowed mass immigration into countries to drive up hate, because people have bought into the whole patriotism, which is another mind control technique. It's a mind control technique which allows a state to get away with whatever it wants to do. So if it starts a war, if you don't support it, you're not being patriotic. If you don't support the troops, you're not being patriotic. But let me tell you, right, before you bang on about Islamic paedophile rings, you have a look at the Queen's honours list, and you have a look down that honours list, suspected, convicted, dead paedophiles. The names are endless: Jimmy Savile, Cyril Smith, Cliff Richard, Stuart Hall. The names go on and on. We are being run by a big paedophile ring, right? So let's take a balanced view on this, and let's realise that they are laying out all these lines of division to stop us from looking at them. So while you are blaming one sector of society, you are being played You are a pawn in the game. You are part of the problem. Let me tell you that. Because you are not thinking for yourself. You are letting the Sun newspaper think for yourself. You're letting the BBC, who is the biggest paedophile protectors going. I mean, look at what they've done with the whole Jimmy Savile stuff. Completely buried it. And people are getting their news from the BBC and listening to that. Start thinking for yourself, because we have to somehow come together and look at the bigger picture here. And let me tell you, some people are gone. The other reason there is so much hatred in society now is because at some level people hate themselves. Yeah, they're walking around with unhealed childhood traumas. They don't realise that most of the time they're unhappy because they've got to grind themselves to the bone until 65, 70 years old, working in a job they hate, paying astronomical taxes, which gets used for war and weapons. They've got all this trauma and hatred built up inside, caused by the very people that are telling them to blame the Muslims, blame this sector of society, blame the immigrants. So you've got all that hate inside looking for a funnel, okay? And they know that. They know that we're living in times where people are angry and they're looking for answers. And what they're doing is they're using their media to funnel it that way, funnel it towards immigrants, funnel it towards poor people. So it's providing an outlet for people's anger. It's people walking around with unhealed trauma and frustration at the very system that keeps them in bondage. Now again, there is no excuse for the abuse of children in any sector of society. But have a look at the biggest one, which controls your life. Do the research, it is there. The paedophile rings running the world, running Hollywood, running governments around the world, running the judiciary system, running the police. It is all there if you care to research. This is not a conspiracy theory. Conspiracy meaning someone that questions the actions and words of liars. If you're not a conspiracy theory in this time, you're a fool. Let me tell you that. Immigration. Why do you think there is so much immigration? Could it be that your own governments are bombing the fuck out of these countries? Syria, Iraq. What would you do in these positions? You're in Syria. You're getting bombed. Your family's getting bombed. Your little baby who's 6 years old. Your little daughter. Your son who's 10. You're a parent. You're hearing those warplanes go over. British, American, Australian, Canadian. What are you going to do? You're going to tell me that you're going to stand there in that scenario with your kids at risk? You're going to tell me that you're not going to look for somewhere else, some safe haven? You're a liar. If that's what you say, you're a liar. Because any loving family, loving father, loving mother would do their very best to get their kids out of that situation. So I'm tired of hearing about immigration. And those people that are dropping the bombs are allowing the infiltration, not infiltration, that's the wrong word, but they're allowing the immigrants to come into the Western countries where it's going to cause all this, oh, what are all these people doing coming to our countries? Look at the reason why they're coming here. They're coming here to make their life better. Everyone on this planet wants to make their life better, you included. And don't you dare say that you would not do the same, because you would. So we're at a crossroads, and I'm pretty sure most people have gone here. Their souls have been taken already. But the few that remain, you have a choice of you either continue buying into a game which you are being played at, and start looking at yourself and what kind of hatred you're projecting out onto the world, or you go with this agenda. And it's sad, it's very, very sad, because ultimately, at some level of our being, all of us, we want to live happily, in peace, in unity with each other. And I don't agree with any religion. I think they're all batshit crazy, all of them. But Islam is just as batshit crazy as Christianity, as is Judaism, as is Hinduism. Because those things are keeping you looking outside of yourself for a saviour. So, it's up to you what choice you make. Okay, that's all I need to say.